We're delighted to welcome Dryas to Totally Wired. How you doing, guys?
Hello.
All good.
Hello.
Yeah.
You just performed a session for us, 2 tracks. Probably our most full session yet. It was pretty much full band, wasn't it? So
Appreciate that, yeah. I know he's
loud.
demanding.
Big and loud in this tiny little
I
room.
refuse to strip back.
Absolute refusal.
But we love you for it nonetheless.
I don't mind stripping back, just not.
Just not good enough to do acoustics yet.
Talk to us about the 2 tracks you played.
Basically the next 2 singles we're going to be releasing. So you got In My Mind and Run. 2 of our sort of more upbeat tracks. Going to be coming out in April and in May. So yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting them out.
This is like a sort of reset, isn't it? You came about after lockdown and just played a few gigs. Released a few singles.
We did put some music out last year, but obviously kind of the whole COVID thing kind of just interrupted things and didn't really enable us to sort of snowball, if you like. Didn't really have an opportunity to kind of keep things moving. So we sort of end of last year was like, right, let's just take a step back and just kind of get everything ready for kind of a fresh start in 2022 and just kind of go for it. So we're going to be releasing a lot of music this year and hopefully no more interruptions.
Yeah. And so debut single is April 1st, In My Mind.
Yes, In My Mind, April 1st, yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah.
April Fool's Day.
I'm not saying it.
So talk to us about that track. Where does it come? What's the story behind it?
I mean, you lyricist.
So it's about my dad and how much. That's fucking.
That's the wrong song. Isn't it?
I didn't mean to swear. My bad.
I think
it's about like mental health issues and like just anxiety and depression and all that rubbish.
Yeah. Well, not entirely rubbish, but
yeah.
I mean, I think the title kind of is pretty much sums it up. I think it's sort of like Hud's. I suppose just sort of like writing down what's kind of going on in his head. I suppose, yeah. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, all of Hud is singer writes the lyrics for us. They all say something. They tell a story, if you like, I suppose. So, I mean, if you listen to when the song comes out, if you listen to the words,
What's the writing process for you guys? Do you start with a song and work it up as a band, or does it happen differently?
I mean, Hud is very much the kind of core songwriter in the band, as in, he'll come up with the idea and he does write the lyrics, and then sort of he kind of will send me and Connor sort of like these sort of demos, yeah. So like kind of parts of songs. Sometimes they're like a whole song. Sometimes they're like sort of like verse, chorus. Various different kind of formations, and then Connor and myself will sort of chip in with some ideas.
Make it sound worse.
Worse, yeah, usually. And then we kind of just go around as a three, and we'll kind of throw in ideas in the hat of where the song could go, and then Hud will go away and sort of work on it some more. He does all the production himself as well, and then usually we'll take it to our producer, who we work with, and likewise he'll kind of throw some ideas into the hat, and we'll go away, work on it some more, and then we kind of go into the studio and where we record it. Again, so a lot of the stuff we do record that Hud's recorded at home, that often stays on the track, so we don't necessarily re-record everything in the studio. But I think we like that process of kind of getting together with our producer, like in an environment where you're kind of just working on the track. So we don't necessarily re-record everything, but it's kind of good to be in that environment where you're like, right, we're gonna kind of cut everything else off and just focus on that particular song, which is why I kind of feel like our songwriting style might not necessarily be the traditional of like you write the song and then go and re-record it in the studio. But I still like that process, even though we might not necessarily, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so they're kind of constructed. There's like a back and forth between the original demos and the final product.
Exactly.
There's a real like atmosphere that comes across on the recordings, which is great.
Yeah, well, I honestly think that there's something we kind of struggled with for a while, is that we did that process of like we'd write the song would come about, and then we would go and re-record the whole thing in the studio, and it would just lose all that.
Yeah, you lose like a lot of nuance and a lot of the vulnerability of HUD as well, I think. And if you just go straight in and re-record a track and you're trying to recreate it, even though it sounded great on the demo, it's like, why don't we just stick with what we had in the demo?
I think it's Rick Beato who calls it demoitis when you like so hooked on the vibe of the demo and you just can't recapture it. So it's a nice way of sidestepping that and keeping it embedded in there.
Yeah, that's happened to many times. Yeah, I think as well because of HUD's lyrics, and they are very vulnerable. Like, I mean, you know, they sometimes just they come out in the moment. They're not something that so you think too much about. Like, they just come out. Like, so I think it's sometimes difficult to try and recreate something that's just kind of not been intentional. It's like, we're trying to like intentionally recreate this vibe, but there was never any intention behind it in the first place, if that makes sense.
Generally the time span between having a demo and going into the studio is such a long period of time that I imagine trying to get back into that headspace is actually quite a difficult thing to do if you're in a different place by the point that you're actually in the studio.
Getting into the same mood you were in.
Exactly.
Tricky.
But I think obviously you guys have been in a band for so long together. You were in a previous band as well. It's become a process that you've sort of moulded to be good for all three of you. It sort of works for, what makes each other tick now. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, like, it's not been something we done from day one. We've had many sort of different avenues of kind of getting to the final product. But now I feel like we're in a place like this works. You know what I mean? You're forever changing, so I'm sure in 5 years' time, you ask the same question, I'll probably answer different. But like, I do think, the way we do it now works for us. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for coming in for a session. Good luck with the single.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
April 1st, in my mind.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. See you again soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Cheers. Bye.